NFL fans, it is time once again for another episode of the Fans First Football Show. My name is Bryan Anthony Davis, here with one of the originals, my buddy. We've known each other in a podcast capacity for 2 years now, and from Broad Street, LinkedIn, yes, the Super Bowl champions. His name is Aidan Reed. He's showing the hat. If you're on audio, you don't see it, but Aidan, have you noticed my hat I'm wearing?
I love it. It's retro. Throwback hat.
Yeah, it's from 2008, the last time the Steelers won the Super Bowl, 6 times to your 2. So I don't have to do that. We are still the kings of Pennsylvania. You might be reigning, but we're all time. So
well, let's talk about the record when you guys come over to Philly across the state. I know that hasn't been going too well.
No, that's not good at all. But there's not much I can say about that. And I'm not going to. 1965 was a long time ago. But let's go ahead and talk about the 6 Super Bowls since then, and we'll take that. But let's go ahead and welcome everybody in. Thank you. We are so close to the regular season. You don't know. I mean, gosh, what are we, like 6 days away? Is 6 weeks away?
Yeah, we have football on July 31st, so we have football in 11 days.
And we also have rookies in training camp right now. Most veterans are reporting as we speak, mostly Monday and Tuesday, some sooner, some later. I just know that by the 23rd, it seems like everybody's probably going to be in camp, and that is exciting all across the league. There's been so many things that we've talked about all off season long. But the NFL's so smart, Aidan. They don't take any time off. And there's a lot of teams, my Pittsburgh Steelers, have definitely given the NFL a whole lot of headlines this year. Whether you agree with them or not, whether anybody agrees with them or not, they've been doing a lot of things. Other teams have been making good waves, and some individual players have been making bad waves. There's been so many things. It's going to affect things. But once these 32 teams get into camp, they're 0-0 for a little bit, and then they're looking to shape. So my first question to you, and I didn't prep you for this, is there any team that you think could be a surprise playoff team? Not a surprise Super Bowl winner, a surprise playoff team.
I do have one for you, Bryan, and I have it. It's been stored in my brain. I hate that they're an NFC team, but they're my sleeper team of the season, and that is the Carolina Panthers. I think Bryce Young really emerged towards the end of last season. They gave us a very close run to our money. They're an Xavier Legette drop away from beating the Eagles last year. I think that the Panthers are poised to make a run for the division in a weaker NFC South. That's going to be my sleeper playoff team for the year, Bryan. How about yourself? Do you have anyone in mind?
I got to tell you, let me just jump on yours real quick. I love that sleeper team because that division is not strong.
Yes.
And you got to realize that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have won it the past couple years, were not the strongest of teams, and they lost their offensive genius to the Jacksonville Jaguars in Liam Cohen. And it's hard for me to say that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be a playoff team this year, but in that division, just like both South divisions, they were both ranked the worst in the NFL by, I believe it was NFL.com, the 8 divisions ranked, and the worst were both South teams, the South divisions, the NFC at 7 and the AFC at 8. But anything can happen. The Tennessee Titans could win that division. They are not. But the Houston Texans aren't locks either. I think the Indianapolis Colts are going backwards. So if you can get a 9-8 season in Jacksonville, which their schedule's tough, I'm not going to say that, but they could be a surprise team. I would not say that they wouldn't be a surprise team. The other team I'm going to go ahead and give you, and this hurts me because they should have been a playoff team last year, But look out a little bit for the Cincinnati Bengals, because they are going to have all the offensive firepower in the world. The only problem there is they have no defense whatsoever, and the Trey Hendrickson situation and the Shamar Stewart situation, the rookie that's holding out, is really bad. That defense is dreadful. They had, I believe, 6 games that they scored over 28 points and lost. They had 2 games that they scored over 35 points and lost. So the Cincinnati Bengals don't have defense, but with the number 1 trio in the league, the best triplets in Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, and, of course, Jamar Chase. And you can take out Jamar Chase, put him on the side, and say, T. Higgins, they're still number 1. But that defense has to come to play. I don't think they have anything, but you've got to – you're going to have to score points to beat them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to shout out my trio as well, and Jalen Hurts, Saquon, and AJ. But I'll give it to you, Brian. I'll give it to you. But no, you're absolutely right. The Bengals, yet again, are a defense away from being an absolute juggernaut in this league. And, for fantasy purposes, because I know your drafts are all coming up soon, I mean, how can you not love Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins with the amount of offense they're going to have to do to keep up? And I just don't understand Bengals ownership. I don't understand how the 2 guys, not only have you not paid Trey Hendrickson, but the guy you're drafting to be his quote-unquote replacement, you're also not paying him. It's a mess down there. I don't know why you're wasting Joe Burrow's prime years, but hey, it's going to be electric to watch the Bengals play, because every game the line's going to be over 50, because they're going to put up points and their defense is going to give up points.
Mike Brown has been a mess for years in that organization as the owner. I could tell you this because in the AFC Central days, I saw them twice a year. See them twice a year in the AFC North. And the only reason they've ever been good, because they've had so many top 5 draft picks. And that's it. But they've never won a Super Bowl with any of them. Now, they came close a couple years ago. That was a very good team that played the Los Angeles Rams. They came close, but really, you're getting these guys so high. You're getting all of these players so very high, but you're still underachieving. So it's a shame, really, for those fans who are very bandwagon fans, too. I would actually say Cincinnati Bengal fans, to me, are some of the least knowledgeable. And
really? I don't have much experience with them. You have more experience with them than I do.
Yeah, I really feel that way. Baltimore Ravens fans know their stuff. Cleveland Browns, definitely. Their fans know their stuff. And Pittsburgh Steelers fans know their stuff. Pittsburgh Steelers fans might be delusional because the old joke about the Pittsburgh Steelers is how many Steelers fans does it take to put it in a light bulb? And it's like 1 and 20 other to remind you how good the old light bulb was. And so I might have messed up that joke, but you know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Very interesting on your pick. I could say that Cincinnati Bengals could be there. Jacksonville Jaguars, though, they have some players on defense. They have offense, and the whole Travis Hunter situation he's probably one of the most intriguing players. Now, I want to ask you about Travis Hunter because he's going to have a quarterback. They're definitely going to have a system. You know what Liam Cohen did for Baker Mayfield. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. He's been hurt. They've had a mess there. And the system, I mean, everything's been a mess. And they've reset this whole thing. So you have Bryan Thomas Jr., who is quietly one of the best receivers in the league.
Oh, 100%.
And fantasy's going to eat him up.
Yep.
I mean, if you're a fantasy owner, grab some Jaguars. I would say that. Everybody's down on an ETN, but the Hunter situation is so interesting because, look, we've seen guys play both ways before, but we've never seen guys play both ways as full-time starters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're attempting to do here. There's a lot of people like Travis Kelce, a lot of people that have had a lot to say about this. What do you have to say about it?
Look, if the guy can do it, the guy can do it, and all things point to him being able to do it. He played a ridiculous amount of snaps in college, but the thing is I don't think they're going to do it right away. What I think they're going to do is I think he's going to be a starting corner, and I think that they're going to have him in offensive packages, would be my gut feeling. But that's not to say that halfway through the season, especially with injuries, which always happen, you start seeing him play both sides of the ball, which would be incredible full time. I mean, it's just going to cause so many more people to tune into those games to witness a guy playing this amount of snaps. It's just, I mean, it's seriously unheard of. So I'm very excited to see what happens. And I do like what you were saying about the Jags, Bryan. I love Josh Hines-Allen. You were talking about the defense first. I think he's a beast. Trayvon Walker's a monster. They got the veteran and Eric Armstead. But I really want to talk about the offense here for a second because this is a prove-it year for Trevor. Obviously, he had that very nasty hit to send him out of the season last year. But you're looking at three of the youngest receivers in the league and a very young tight end and I think they all have something to prove, and I think they all have great talent. You already mentioned Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter. I love the signing from the Washington Commies, De'Ami Brown. I think he could play a pivotal role there at the third with Christian Kirk leaving. And Brenton Strange, for you fantasy guys out there, I like waiting. I like waiting on tight end, and you can get Brenton Strange late in your drafts. And I think if the Jags O-line can hold up, I think he's poised to have a good year.
He's really good. Man, those second-round picks at tight end from Penn State University. Remember when they called Penn State linebacker U? Penn State is becoming tight end U because there are 4 Penn State tight ends that will be starting this year. Do you know who they all are?
No, I actually do not.
Okay. 3 of them are second-round picks. One, of course, is a number 1 pick, and that's Tyler Warren, and I think he is phenomenal. And Tyler Warren with the Indianapolis Colts, he is starting. But you also have other guys in the AFC that are number 2 picks since 2018 that all are very, very good, and all are expected to have – some of them are expected to be fantasy sleepers. We just talked about the triplets and then some in Cincinnati. Mike Gesicki has finally got it right. And he was a second-round pick from Penn State University in 2018. Then in 2021, you got Patty Freiermuth, Pittsburgh Steelers. Just got a big contract. And with Aaron Rodgers there, you're going to expect some things out of him. Who's the other tight end? Number 2, Brenton Strange from 2023. So Penn State, tight end U.
Bryan, you brought up Freiermuth. I actually had some questions about the Steelers for you, if you don't mind. I don't want this to come across as judgmental at all. I'm not saying I think this, but for those people that are saying, well, the Steelers lost kind of a diva wide receiver 1, and then they brought in a diva wide receiver 1, and then they lost, a little bit. They lost a stud DB, and then they brought in a stud DB. Obviously, they brought in Jonnu Smith as well, but do you not see these as lateral moves? Because you obviously know the Steelers more than I do. Is there some underlying reason for letting go of Minka just to bring in Jalen Ramsey or letting go of George just to bring in DK? And also, do you think Jonnu Smith is going to have a prominent role with Freiermuth with a lot of 2 tight end sets, or do you think it's kind of going to be a battle in training camp to see who gets the most snaps?
I have so much to say about that, and we are going to go ahead and take a break, and let's come back, and we'll discuss that and more as we move from 3 cat teams, the Jaguars, the Bengals, and the Panthers, to the Steelers, who I think are the coolest cats of them all, but they don't have a logo. So let's go ahead and take a break. We're not talking Lions, I guess. We'll be back right after this. Stick around. It's the Fans First Football Show on the Fans First Sports Network. All right, we are back. It's the Fans First Sports Network. My name is Bryan Anthony Davis. Aidan Reed is with me, from the World Champions. He covers the World Champions, Super Bowl 59, and a team that I would think are going to be favored. I haven't seen the odds, but I don't know how you cannot favor the Philadelphia Eagles going into next year as well. That would be pretty tough to me. We're not discussing the Eagles right now, but I don't think anything has gone wrong in the offseason for Philadelphia.
I would agree with you, Brian. You know, obviously, as any championship team does, you lose some pieces, but we're built to be fine without the pieces we lost, and we drafted accordingly. So, and Howie we trust.
One of the deepest, actually, one of the absolutely deepest teams. Now, Pittsburgh Steelers, the other Pennsylvania team, they brought a guy over from Philadelphia a couple years ago who was the assistant to Howie Roseman, and he is the assistant GM, but he is considered an architect in Pittsburgh, and it's Andy Weidel. I absolutely adore Andy Weidel and what he's doing. Andy Weidel does not get enough credit, and my fear is that he's finally going to get the credit and bolt to another team, because Howie Roseman, I am not going to argue that he is not the best in the league. He is the best GM. He is the Tom Brady. He is the Patrick Mahomes of GMs right now.
Howie Goatman.
Yeah. All right. But no, I mean, he is. I think you've got a very good one in Los Angeles in Les Snead. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's doing. But Omar Khan is top 3. And here's why Omar Khan is top 3 to me. He has made a lot of moves here. But in any of the moves that they've made, they have done the anti-Les Snead. They did not mortgage any of the future for the moves that they made. They still have 12 draft picks next year. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you they're going to end up with another one, because they have 2 great punters right now in Cameron Johnston and Corliss Waitman. They're going to trade one of them for a 7th-round pick. So even with Mike Williams retiring, they still do not lose one of those compensatory picks. All of the moves except for one that they made. Malik Harrison, the linebacker from the Baltimore Ravens, he was the only unrestricted free agent that they brought in. Every other move was a guy that has been waived or cut, or a guy that they traded for. So Omar Khan is a guy that is absolutely spectacular, and I bet you don't know this. He played a coach on the sidelines in The Dark Knight Rises.
Really? I did not know that.
Because he was a scout for the Steelers, and he can be seen. Omar can be seen. He's been with the organization for over 20 years.
Yep.
That's how long. And Omar's a young guy, and Omar Khan is a guy that you're going to be talking about. He's the guy who finds money in the couch cushions. Mm-hmm. Jeff Hartman from the Steel Curtain Network and Fans First Sports Network, he has a theory that there are teams that the salary cap doesn't exist for. The Philadelphia Eagles are one of those teams.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are one of those teams. Now, the salary cap exists, but you have guys that know how to manipulate it and not kill yourself. The Philadelphia Eagles can manipulate that cap year after year. The Steelers can do it year after year and not have to start over. And that is what makes a great general manager. So let's talk about this. I'm going to sound like a homer here, but I'm going to give you some facts. The first fact is that I'm going to completely disagree with you on the wide receiver situation. When have we ever heard, and I'm not challenging you, I'm just asking you this, the only time that you've ever heard of DK Metcalf being a diva is just being overly aggressive and getting in people's faces.
That's true. I would say I was kind of putting that under the umbrella of being a diva. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, his anger is an issue, but it's not like he is screaming at his quarterback or anything like that. So I'll definitely give you a point there.
And who was his biggest combatant over the years?
Biggest combatant. Who's that corner on? It's Jalen Ramsey.
It was Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Who is a Pittsburgh Steeler now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They don't have to fight anymore.
Maybe in camp.
Minka was known as a guy in camp. He knocked out Chase Claypool a couple years ago.
Yep.
He is an enforcer. He in the locker room. He's. I hate to lose Minka, but I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Let's get back to the wide receiver. One of the greatest wide receivers as far as work ethic in NFL history, a lot of people is a Pittsburgh Steeler. A lot of people would say that it's Hines Ward, and I'd agree with you. But in practice, one of the greatest work ethic guys was actually Antonio Brown. Now, he was a horrible diva. Now, Antonio Brown wasn't a diva. AB was a diva.
Yep.
There was an absolute difference. But when Antonio Brown caught a pass in training camp and practice, he took every pass to the end zone. DK Metcalf does that same thing. Aaron Rodgers a couple weeks ago on the Pat McAfee show made a comment that he loved working with DK. DK called him up and said, "Hey, I work at UCLA. I know you're local. Do you want to work with me too?" Because knew what was the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall for a long time on this. They're not admitting it, but I really feel there was a handshake deal for a long time between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. Mike Tomlin called him every single week, Aidan, and they talked on the phone for a while. So, what did Aaron Rodgers say to him? To DK Metcalf when he called?
I don't know. I missed it.
He said, "Absolutely, I want to work with you." He goes, "All right, I work out every morning 6 a.m. every day." He said, "Well, hold on a second, cowboy. I tell you what, I'm coming from Malibu. So how about we meet at 8 a.m.?" And this had nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers being lazy, because Aaron Rodgers has never been known to be lazy. Aaron Rodgers is a worker too.
Yep.
But I don't think I think the label of being a diva is a lot because he's got a stone cold Steve Austin type of attitude.
He doesn't take nothing from nobody.
Yeah, there's no BS.
Yep.
And I hear it's going famously already. So the problem with George Pickens was nobody wanted George Pickens for less than a 3. For anything more than a 3. George Pickens was such a problem. And there were a lot of guys that were complaining about George Pickens in the locker room. He showed up. He was hurt, then showed up for that Christmas Day game late. I mean, like 10 minutes before game time, he shows up. And then afterwards, he crashes Patrick Mahomes and eating like a cake, and Travis Kelce eating the celebration cake. And they asked him questions about is he disappointed in the way that it ended, and he's like, no. He's just that guy, and he's an addition by subtraction. Talent-wise, you probably have a better wide receiver, pure talent-wise, in George Pickens. However, George Pickens, the ego, when it gets in the way, and you saw this on Hard Knocks, Mike Tomlin had to pull him in, reel him back in. But he gets a lot of 15-yard penalties for doing stupid things.
Yes, he does.
DK Metcalf is not a guy to do those things because he's a guy that will see the professionalism going on with Aaron Rodgers and the rest of the team. You asked another question. I'm going to go very brief on Minkah Fitzpatrick. There were a lot of Cam Hayward made some comments last year, and he hates to lose Minkah. He was devastated by the trade because Minkah was such a leader. But there was a lot of times that Minkah Fitzpatrick would kind of 10 guys would do one thing and Minkah would do the other.
Mm-hmm.
They also played him out of position a lot, making him more of a linebacker, and he's only had one interception in the last 2 years. So bringing in a guy like Jalen Ramsey, with the fact that they have Juan Thornhill, and you look at the trade, Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith basically for Minkah Fitzpatrick. That draft pick doesn't mean a thing because they gave up a 5th but get back a 7th. So in 2027,
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 2-for-1 deal. Now your question about Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith is not going to be a tight end in Pittsburgh. He might
Receiver.
have the role of tight end. He might line up as a tight end, but he is going to be a wide receiver number 2. They don't have a wide receiver number 2. If you've seen, and Arthur Smith's used him before. Everywhere Arthur Smith goes, you've got a number 1 receiver in catches and yards. Then the next 2 guys are tight ends.
Yep.
It goes like that all the time. What the Steelers have lacked the last couple years have been plays over the middle. Aaron Rodgers does that well. Russell Wilson didn't. Justin Fields did not either.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you do have the lack of mobility, and the line is a problem. But this is... The team was so bad last year and still had 10 wins.
Yeah.
Imagine what happens when you get the attitudes out of the room. And Najee was a little bit of an attitude guy, too.
Yep.
But Najee...
And now he's missing an eyeball, so...
Yeah, poor guy. I mean, Najee was a guy, Aidan, that he was a square peg trying to fit in a round hole in Pittsburgh. And he's a good running back. And then they go draft Amari and Hampton, who's fantastic. And Najee's going to end up being on another team.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see him bounce, and it's a shame because I think he's a lot better running back than people in Pittsburgh thought he was. But
yeah,
it's the defense is fantastic. A lot of people are complaining about paying a lot of money to TJ Watt. What do you think about that?
I think that TJ Watt is one of the players in the NFL where no matter what you have to do, you get the deal done. And I think that deal is absolutely fine. I mean, there's no way you can let someone who can single-handedly destroy a game on his own. I mean, just look at the records with TJ Watt and without him. Bryan, I'm one of the people who is very fine with the price because guess what? Now that price tag just went up for all the other premier linemen on the defensive side of the ball. And he's just a player where you have to get him signed. So whatever it takes, get him signed because he is an absolute game wrecker. He could be the defensive player of the year every year. That's how good he is, and that's a guy that you have to pay no matter how much.
Let's talk about one of your foes in Philadelphia, the guy who's probably going to get the next contract. Micah Parsons probably hates this. He has spoken out about not thinking that TJ Watt was that good before. So is Micah Parsons going to break this deal, or are the Cowboys going to let him test free agency?
I really hope they let him test free agency because there has been many a rumor about him coming to Philly. I know it's probably impossible with the whole cap situation, but anytime a player like Micah Parsons is in arguments with Jerry Jones and ownership, it's a happy day for me because he is a freak, obviously Penn State guy as well, and I don't know. That's exactly what I was kind of hinting at before is where you get the deal done now because if you wait, who knows what they would have given Micah, and then maybe that tries up the price for TJ. It's the Howie Roseman formula. You sign players earlier rather than later because the price is always going up. And I couldn't give you a prediction. I imagine Jerry's going to pay the man. How can you not pay Micah Parsons? But again, he's made some crazier decisions in the past, and age is only getting older and older, so maybe he's going a little senile. I don't know.
Does that make the Cowboys have to do something with Dak?
Oh, I don't think you can get anything back for Dak, Bryan. I think you pay the man and you're going to have to stick with him. I can't think of any team that would trade for Dak Prescott on that contract and be happy about it. So
I'm talking cut.
Cuts. Wow.
Seriously,
That would be crazy. I mean, I don't think they're going to do that.
Can you
but,
have two $40 million man?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're going to cut Dak. So, yeah, who knows? They're a mess, and I love it. But, yeah, who knows where Jerry's going. Jerry's so unpredictable, you know. He's just a guy that has no one controlling. Like, he just has free reign to do whatever the hell he wants. So, they're always going to be a mystery.
In today's NFL, guys like that get cut now.
Yeah.
Or traded. That would have been unheard of just 15 years ago, 10 years ago, unheard of. And now that stuff happens.
It's like Kirk Cousins with the Falcons. Who knows what they're going to do with him? He's on that massive contract playing backup quarterback.
He is one of the, I believe, number 6 as far as highest paid players in the league.
Yeah, it's incredible. Once a quarterback goes down, Kirk Cousins will get traded, but it's crazy that they're paying him to play backup. It's insane.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to make a comment here. This is why the quarterback situation is so crazy and why you have to go ahead when you sign a guy like TJ Watt, have to label him as the number 1 non-quarterback, highest paid non-quarterback in the league, which we know that's going to change. And he's at number 15.
Mm-hmm.
So the 14 guys ahead of them are all quarterbacks, and Dak's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just don't see how you're not getting the return on Dak.
Yeah.
It's not like he's Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Who's giving you a ring, giving you 3 rings. It's not like he's an MVP like Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's a 2-time MVP like Lamar Jackson. And I'm telling you, Baltimore's wearing thin on Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's another contract in Baltimore for Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
He's getting paid now. When
Yeah.
this runs out, I think it almost went south last year.
Yes, that is true, which is crazy to think about after the numbers he put up. But, yeah, that is very true. He was close.
His numbers are fantastic. That team,
I remember Jets fans were begging to sign Lamar, but obviously that didn't end up happening.
But that team under Lamar Jackson wilts in the playoffs.
Yeah. And the same thing with Dak. I mean, Dak is just a playoff choker. And, look, I know Cowboys fans listening are going to be like, oh, Reed's just a hater. Obviously, he's a Birds fan. But, look, Dak has put up phenomenal numbers in the regular season. But he just melts in the playoffs. You see it year in and year out. So, yeah, who knows what they're going to do with Bryan. And the same thing can be – although I will say this year, I don't really know if I'm putting it on Lamar. I know he dropped the ball for the fumble, but I think he still played well in that Bills game.
He did. Now, but Lamar is head and shoulders a better playoff quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Oh, yes, we can agree on that for
now,
sure.
I will say that. But, man, there have been so many. I mean, he gets them far, but until he gets them to the promised land, I don't know if it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I tell you what, I wouldn't be shocked if they win a Super Bowl. Every year, I put money. I don't put money, but I theoretically put money on the Ravens because I know how good they are.
Yes.
Because I see them. And you put a feather in your cap when you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you beat them.
Mm-hmm.
But the Pittsburgh Steelers have, in the Lamar era, the Pittsburgh Steelers have only 2 losses against Lamar Jackson.
Wow, that is crazy. And speaking of the Ravens, I mean, bringing in Jair Alexander, I know it's a very injury-prone secondary, but this might be one of the best secondaries we've seen. I mean, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Jair Alexander, Marlon Humphrey. this Ravens secondary is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yep. That's that keeps me up at night too. Anything else you want to talk about, my friend?
I'm just gonna throw something out real quick. You don't no need to respond. I just wanted to talk about the Commanders for a quick second. Bringing in Von Miller, 36 years old, oldest team in the league, gets older. But hey, I mean, they're built on these kind of one-year veteran pieces. But I mean, what are they doing? Scary Terry needs to get signed. If they don't sign him, I mean, they have to, right, Brian? I mean, if they don't sign him, Fat Debo, who's a running back, is going to be their wide receiver one with Noah Brown and Luke McCaffrey. I mean, I don't know what's going on down in D.C., but if they don't bring in Scary Terry, I think they are in a whole lot of trouble.
All right, this show premieres on Monday, but we are recording on Sunday evening. The rumors over the weekend that I've heard is that the deal goes down sometime on Monday. So if you're listening to this sometime today, I would think on Monday, and if you're listening to it later on, I almost think that it's going to happen. That is a much better run organization now that Dan Snyder is gone. So I will tell you, I think it's a much smarter organization. I like the Von Miller move because they have a tough defensive line to begin with, and that just I know he's considered an edge, what have you. But you throw him in that mix, they are a team that last year they did well with some veterans. So, and I follow the Commanders. I won't call them the name you call them. I follow them because I live closer to the Commanders than I do the Steelers. I'm a diehard Steeler fan. Well, I live closer to the Ravens than I do the Steelers as well. So
yeah.
You know. There was a lot of hoopla last year. You follow them. If they don't get Terry McLaurin done, I would be absolutely shocked because he is a glue guy for them. Really is. And I think he's absolutely phenomenal. And he's not that old. So I would think that that's a deal that gets done by the time we speak again. And if it doesn't happen the first week of training camp, I'm going to be surprised.
Yep, me as well. Well, I'd be very shocked. It's just crazy that they haven't got it done yet. But yeah, great show, Brian. This is a lot of fun. I missed it. This is great.
Yeah, I love talking to you, and I guarantee you we get off the phone, we'll probably talk for another hour because that's just what you and I do. So, anyways, next week, I'm not sure who the lineup is next week. Do you know who the lineup is expected to be next week?
I know I am not on the list. That's about the extent, though.
I have a feeling that it's me again next week. If I wouldn't be surprised if it's me again next week. So I'll be here most likely, and I'll be here with either Jess Place, David Stefano, or Nick Hogan. So we have the five of us are splitting time now. We have five of us, so some of us can go ahead and enjoy the summers, and we get a couple weeks on, couple weeks off. When the season goes, you'll see a three-man lineup every single week in the season. So you will have one of the five, actually three of the five, but next week you'll have a few of us too. I believe it's me. I thought you'd find it by now, no?
Oh, I'm sorry. I started looking and then I assumed that you were going to shout everyone out, but let me pull it up now. Let's see here.
Now, Aidan.
Yeah, I might have missed it. I'm looking at
Well, I tell you what.
July 20. I'm looking at Nick Hogan and Jess Place.
Oh, gosh, two of the other originals. So you'll have plenty of AFC to talk about. They were on together, I believe, last week, and you'll probably see them again next week as well. So with that being said, my name is Bryan Anthony Davis. His name is Aidan Reed, phenomenal young broadcaster here at the Fans First Sports Network. If you have not checked out Broad Street LinkedIn, you are absolutely missing out. I love listening to this guy, and I was there when he first started just 2 years ago. He was good from the start, but very raw. And you listen to him now compared to 2 years ago, absolutely phenomenal voice, very knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than me. And I will tell you this, that no, it's true. No, your knowledge is fantastic all the way across the league. Great job what you're doing. We love having you here. A little too cocky with that Super Bowl 59 hat on. But you guys have the chip. So with that being said,
I'm only as good as my teacher. I'm only as good as my teacher, Bryan. So,
we're glazing now. So, I know that's a term that's not a derogatory term. I know my son uses it. And, I hope that's not a derogatory term.
No, it's good.
Okay. So, with that being said, for the Glazer, Aidan Reed, and me, Bryan Anthony Davis from the Fans First Sports Network, it's getting started. You've got to keep it right here for your favorite team and your favorite team's opponents as well. Also, don't forget to check out our NFL affiliate, and also check out Kevin Smith on the Call Sheet Daily. The Fans First Sports Network, real quick, Aidan Reed, had an NFL head coach, active head coach, on last week, and it was Kevin Stefanski.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, we're getting it done here. So go back and check out that show. It was tremendous. So Kevin Smith doing great, KT Smith doing great things here, the coach. And BSL Reed, make sure you check him out on Broad Street LinkedIn once again. Check out me on the Steel Curtain Network. For Aidan Reed, my name is Bryan Anthony Davis, and we've got 2 words to say to you. I'm going to let BSL Reed say it.
Go football.
Go football.
Ready, set, go.